Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I make up joined once again by Jimmy, Jake, Austin, and like always, Fluff. A lot of people.
Damn, you fucked that up real bad.
What's going on, y'all?
Hello.
What up, beautiful people?
In today's matchup, we got Jake and Austin back for round 3 of this past weekend's event. As you remember, Jake is playing kind of one of Fluff's favorites, Syn Shenrons, and Austin's still going around with the blue-green take on Cell. There's buttons down below, but let's get into today's matchup.
It was really weird hearing you say Austin's name and then not saying Cooler after it. It was very odd. It was almost jarring in a way. Like I had to double take and like, oh shit, that is so.
I mean,
Well, that'll change the next set. Yeah, it's pretty much if it's a Cooler or a Cell deck, I'm gonna be playing it. Those are two of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball, and I've played this deck ad nauseum on Untapped since it was announced, and I really enjoy it. It's gone through many iterations.
So, right off the bat, there's kind of a misplay in this game. I end up double Oceanusing on the first turn. You actually can't use Oceanus on multiple copies. So the way we end up rectifying it is I end up like revealing an extra card in my hand to Austin, and then there's 2 Shadow Dragons in my drop area that I do not have access to for removal effects.
Yeah, we kept calling it the ill-gotten gains pile.
Yeah.
And the I don't know which the dragons are, but it's the round frog nude that he got an extra copy of. That's all I remember.
The
And,
Haitian run?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I found out like the better way for me to pilot this deck, and I started seeing immense like just benefits of doing this, where I charge mono green first, then turn 2 I charge a multicolor, because turn 2 I awaken, then I'll put my Unison down, and that allows me to awaken turn 2 almost every time, and that has helped me pilot this deck so much more using this variant.
I felt like that was the biggest weakness with the blue-green variant is that the yellow-green variant, you never needed to charge a yellow energy. That all of the yellow-green cards were played from the deck or played from the drop area, and you didn't need to tap anything other than a green energy, or it was just free 99. So I felt like having to charge a blue, and you run stuff like EDK, so you can't just charge a mono blue, and then sometimes a mono blue might get in the way of like some other plays. Like I felt like it was always like a clunky section of the deck that was really holding it back from being from being a real menace. But I feel that playing in this way and getting on that curve, you're kind of playing with the same curve that the yellow-green does. You just lose 1 extra energy on turn 2 instead of losing out on your own awakening plus an energy on turn 1, which I think your turn 1 play in Cell is one of the most important plays that you can do in most games.
Yeah, and with this, the only I noticed myself when I was playing with using a turn 2 awaken, that 1 energy would be untapped, and I would just never use it my next turn. So I was like, I would always use it for a Unison if I saw it, or if I saw something else, I would pay 1 energy, then untap, and then I would just to waste the energy and use it before I awakened. Then I'd tap 2 for the Unison anyways. So I was literally doing the same thing regardless. So just switching that up just slightly made the game just flow so much smoother when I'm playing this deck.
Yeah, it ends up being not very much different at all.
And just being able to have blue and access to the Android 21. What I like about this deck is all your threats are pretty much shown. So your opponent's constantly worried about stuff. And then I use my Freezy Unison to hit him with crits, and then to look at the top card and try to get another Android if I need to draw, if I need to get something else, if I want to see something. The -2 comes in handy every now and again. If I have Dormant though in my hand, I always go for Dormant instead of -2 on Frieza. But there have been many times where -2 has stopped multiple turns. Not like the whole game, but overall.
Oh yeah.
It's phenomenal. And then using the Vial Creator on either the Arrival Android 16 or the Leader Swing is really good.
Oh, for sure. And that Unison works extra well with your Leader too, because your Leader digs you 2 cards deeper into your deck on swing, as long as you have an android to put underneath. So you can always dig away from that card you put back on top if you want.
Yeah. It's really nice. And I personally just like having this little combo here, especially I wanted to play it last turn, but I figured I should play it during Jake's turn because the skills are negated due to that Syn Shenron that I absolutely hate with a raging passion. So,
but the good news is you have a lot of play against that Sen, where you can take 2 cards out from under your leader and pop it.
yeah.
As long as you're careful about how you decide to handle things moving forward, you can pretty much keep him clear of that Syn Shenron for most of the game.
Uh-huh.
And one of the plussing effects of the 9-drop is you get to play the ball out and you get to draw 2 as well, which sometimes feels bad when you let your opponent draw 2, and can sometimes backfire on you in the long run. But in Cell, you just have so many just free outs pretty much for big hands in the form of Perfect for Cell. So to get to the Syn Shenron blow up turn is usually like turn 6, where they're going to flood the field and kill you outright with that. Where Cell, you turn 5, you're going to drop them down to 3. So you can remove 9 drops all day and still not have to worry about it, because you still only have to play against 3 cards in the long run.
And it's so inexpensive and energy efficient for him to remove my 9-drop. It's almost worth him giving me the 2 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're going to play things like EDK and just send them away.
And then you also get the plus 5k and crit for doing that. So a 20k crit swing on a 10k leader, he might have to use those 2 cards to combo with or something, that he just drew. So with all the crit threat, it helps with, even though he gets to draw extra, he still might have to think about what he wants to take life from.
And if memory serves, I end up defending my life kind of more than a Syn Shenron player normally would at this stage of the game, because I have the Meki Kabura in hand. So my plan is to go into that, and especially with that freeze on field, I don't think I'm going to be getting up another chain, so I went ahead and comboed that off, and just going to try and awaken at a high life total, and then hopefully when he strips all of the cards out of my hand, he won't have enough gas to actually finish me off that turn, and with the cards that get added from my life to my hand, plus whatever I'm able to draw, maybe I can mount a comeback.
Yeah, that Mechikabura Unison is ridiculous. I always forget what it does, because I don't play against that often. I think I only play against it in Syn Shenron. And I just forget how insane it is. I forget that it's blocker. I forget that its +1's absurd. All I know is that it's -4 to take control of a card. And that's it.
Yeah, a lot of people just play it and immediately rip it, but in Syn, it's really good for thwarting your opponent's plays and just awakening. You see there, off of the Oceanus, I milled my power of a Super Saiyan, which really sucks.
It's an unfortunate one to see.
Yeah, I'd really like to have access to that, especially with my 1 energy that's up right now.
Yeah. And it's no secret that I just massively hate yellow. I hate playing against it. I never have fun when I play against yellow. It's just, and that's why, like, with this cell list that I play, and then with Cooler coming out, I don't have to worry about my battle cards being tapped and stuff. I don't have to worry about all that being KO'd and controlled like that, and it's just so frustrating. Yellow's really made me play different, because yellow's pretty, at least from my experience, it's pretty prominent at our shop. There, Jake was asking to see my drop here, and I was like, it's got 4 cards. There's a lot, just because Syn Shenron I know is I played against the deck enough to know about the play all of the homies, from the drop area. So this entire time I'm trying to think of ways to get pressure, but also like I'm thinking of ways to like attack, but I don't even pay attention to the Unison at this point because I did once again I just forget that it has blocker and it has +1. I didn't know that until after the game. Jake told me that Unison does, and then it's just rough. I feel like whenever I'm playing against yellow, it's just a constant uphill battle of just sludging through so much stuff.
Yeah, especially because I feel like that's like yellow's main plan, right? Is to just disrupt your opponent and throw them off, and then if they expend too many resources, like play your guys and kill them. I feel like that's really like the niche yellow has fallen into. So here I'm able to rest his leader because my Akikabura lost a marker due to an attack. So now if he wants to attack me with more than the android, he's going to have to spend energy on the board.
Yeah, it's I would have, like I said, I knew that it rested any card like that. I definitely would have swung with leader first, and this was rough. I'm still so frustrated because I think that happened earlier too. Where you prevented my leader, so I've already not seen 4 extra cards that I could have seen.
Yeah,
otherwise
the 4 drops in, and then now Mekikabura.
Yeah,
that's twice I've stopped your leader from attacking.
Yeah,
we've talked about this before, where yellow is like a puzzle that you have to solve. As far as your sequencing goes, once you figure out how to sequence against yellow is not that bad to play against. Yellow gets exceptionally harder to play against the wider your field gets. But if you are able to just recognize that puzzle and kind of solve your way through it, it's really not that hard to break what yellow is trying to do and basically neuter a lot of the value that they get out of a lot of their cards.
Yeah.
I believe yellow is kind of like transitioned almost into like a guessing puzzle as well, because of all of the restrictions on yellow's tap down cards. So you have to guess like, oh, should I swing with my Unison first? But what if they have Black Kamehameha and tap down my battle card? Should I swing with the battle cards first, but they're going to tap down my leader with like a Zama super combo or something of that nature? So you really have to play what your opponent is showing you on the field. So you'd have to take in that, okay, he has a power of a Super Saiyan, so he cannot do this currently, so I have to worry about this and this. And then play with that information. Which I really enjoy playing against yellow because of that reason, but it's also very frustrating when you walk right into something that you were thinking about, but just went, oh, they don't got that, and then you get whooped for it.
Yeah. So here I kind of forgot I was under dormant, so there wasn't really a good reason to play this Omega, especially when I'm going to be on 6 next turn. So I just try and put up a wall by playing this 8-drop and giving it barrier and blocker.
Yeah, that I remember I was sitting there, and then he was sitting there like he was thinking what to do, and I was like, "Don't forget you're under dormant." He's like, "Oh no!" And yeah, right there. This is, I think, looking back, one of my biggest mistakes when I played this was tapping that Android 16 to the block, because it's now locked down. I'm out of potentially 2 attacks, and with I think I have in my hand a Vile Creator, so I could have gotten a 30k double strike and then 25k double strike swing in with this. He does have open energy, but yeah, I was, and his Unison's tapped because he swung with it, so I didn't have to worry about a blocker on that one. This was probably the most I have thought in a game in a while, and it this is after we played quite a few games over at Matt's house. Well, I played quite a few games, and then I had all these, so my little hamster in my head was going like crazy trying to figure out what to do next.
The wheel was spinning, but the hamster was dead.
Yeah, as a player, I just am bad against yellow. Yellow is the biggest counter to me, and it's very frustrating whenever I see it. I just need to figure out how to play around it, and then, like Drake told me in this match, whenever we play like friendlies and stuff, he'll intentionally play yellow so I can get better about playing around it.
Yeah. And it helps that I enjoy the color as well. But yeah, you got to play against everything. I know like green for a lot of people can be frustrating, or like really fast aggro decks in black or red. So it helps to play a lot of games against a wide variety of decks, even if you don't particularly enjoy the matchup.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is about yellow, but I get just seeing yellow, I get already tilted. I first sit down.
I do the same thing against green, so I get it.
I do it against Dragon Ball decks.
There I go into the Vegeta Unison. I can't remember if I saw it off my leader swing or the +1ing from Frieza, but trying just to get anything to hit him out. I can't remember. I don't know. His hand size is small right now, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And so I'm just trying. I'm just doing my damnedest to get something in here. And here I wanted to rip the card from hand, and then we have a little Jimmy comes over here in a second and is like, wait, because he's watching the match. And just one thing, he clarifies that EDK can't be used on a Unison for the +15, which for me was fine. I just wanted to rip the card from hand. So, you see right there.
Yeah, so he's actually at 30 power instead of the 40 he would be at.
Yeah. It's a little unfortunate, but it's one of those things where you could run Champa Destroys, or it's called, but that would only pop a battle card and give me +10, where I want to rip the card. So
yeah.
I prefer EDK personally over Champa.
Yeah, Champa will rip a card on your opponent's turn, but not on your turn. So kind of a more awkward tool to use.
Yeah.
So at this stage of the game, the way his board is like presenting, I don't feel safe just tapping 6 and playing all the dragons, because Dormant will really shut me down, and then he might be able to get around what I have in play after that and just kill me. See, here's the Dormant.
Yeah, I remember that turn you played the triple strike. You told me that you planned to go up the entire chain and everything that turn.
Yeah.
Everyone really focuses on that pace 6 and Shadow Dragons, about how it's like such a kill turn. And yes, it can be, but it's also a liability sometimes.
There are a few matchups where paying 6 is just a outright win. Like, they do happen, but in most decks, you still have to worry about hard negates, floodgates, stuff of that nature. So, while I think the pay 6 is usually like a fantastic play, especially if you have some insurance if it does not kill on that turn. But I think it's very smart of Jake to play it out and make sure that he's able to secure a win before doing it.
Yeah. So I accidentally comboed off too many of the 9 drops. I actually wanted to go into a 9 here, but ended up kind of screwing myself. So we do Omega again, and I forget to remove a dragon, and Jimmy reminds me, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was sitting there watching. I was like, "What'd you remove?"
yeah, like I said before, the having the leader locked down here, and then once I blocked with that Android 16, I never saw him again to be used. He was just constantly locked down.
The other Omega should be restood at this point too.
Oh yeah, I forgot to restand it with my leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, here I take a long time to think because I got 2 cards in hand and a dream. But yeah, I'm just stuck here. I try to see a way. I tried to see a way through this possibility of that, but not seeing it at 2 more cards. So there's 6 cards I haven't seen this be able to draw was insane. And then I'm so used to playing with Cooler where I don't care too much about the Syn Shenron matchup. And playing not Cooler against this made me have to really think about everything that I'm doing.
It's just getting used to a new list.
Yeah.
He thought about plussing and swinging and then decided there might be a better line of play, so he walked it back.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what to do here, and that blocker having barriers rough, but then I'm sitting here thinking, I remembered his Unison also has blockers, so I was like, I have 1 double strike 25k double strike swing. He has no cards in hand at this point. And or maybe 2, or something like that.
Yeah, I've had 2 or 3 in hand, I feel like.
Yeah. Syn is notorious for closing the game out with nothing in hand. Pretty much every time I've closed out a game, I have 2 or 3 cards left in hand. And that's just how the deck operates with the big 30k bodies.
Yeah, and this, if looking back, I would have, if I never blocked with that 16, I would have had more avenues to do double strike, doing dual attacker with this. And it's kind of the reasons why I like to run him, because he can be an offensive tool. Because with yellow, I don't like using him defensively. And for some reason, I still use him defensively. And I didn't, forgetting that it was yellow, then just, and there, Jake goes again, bullying my 16 still.
Yeah, that's really the reason I attacked with the Mechie, to try and entice an easy block. And I really underestimated the level at which I could keep it down.
Yep, and that's the game. Just 1 triple strike.
So with that being said, go on.
No, I just about to say that'll do it.
Yep, and with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep minding buttons on the screen. Well, Fluff does the outro.
As always, guys, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and fluff out.